Hey, Shalom. First off, I want to start by saying all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Bashim Rakal Kadash is all praises to the Lord calls God and Jesus Christ. The true names in the Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father and Yahushai for his beloved Son. I also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching the word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Tazabah, Lord Will. Tazabah with the Arizona, Great Millstone, Arizona camp with another video edifying. What I wanted to go into is really how deep slavery goes, because we had an Edomite at camp, because he revealed his hand at the end. I was thinking maybe he's a Jake. He sat there quietly, and he minimalized what slavery was by sitting there trying to sit here and say that Jake everywhere, or not even Jake everywhere, many of people have been put into slavery and such and such people went into slavery, which that's true. A lot of people have gone into captivity. But as it says in Daniel 9:12, it says, and he had confirmed his word, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. So under the whole heaven, there had not been a captivity on the level of the captivity that happened unto Jerusalem, man, to Israel. It's a people before a place. Now, I got some things that pull the light, to have you understand exactly how deep slavery went. People think about slavery, they think just working in the field for no wages. Sometimes you're hung and lynched. You get fed slop. They think it just ends there. No, they everything you see today is based off of practices or the direct result of having slaves. Every single thing you can think of. Now, this first article says how slavery inspired modern business management. It says, adapted from accounting for slavery, Masters in Management by Caitlin Rosenthal. Now, I'm going to go down. Now, it says, in 1911, a congressional special committee convened to investigate the impact of new business practices on the lives of workers. Of particular interest to the committee was something called scientific management, a technique that sought to measure and improve work productivity. The system's most vocal proponent, a mechanical engineer named Frederick Wilson Taylor, had just published a magnum opus, The Principles of Scientific Management. Taylor's works would become an inspirational touchstone for the management profession. Indeed, the influence continues today. Articles profiling management pioneers often begin with him, lauding his efforts to apply precise metrics to even basic processes. Now they tell you that every business management person tries to tie him back into this. However, when Tellers and others were called to testify in 1911, the tone was far from inspirational. A scientific management critic's gestured to a very different point of reference: slavery. An experienced ironworker from the Watertown Arsenal in Massachusetts told the committee that scientific management felt to him as if it was getting down to slavery. Managers said exerted extreme control following you when you are at the job. It says, and with a stopwatch stand over you while you bend down to pick up a few rods. This is too much for a man to stand. The head of Mechanics Union argued that the system had reduced the man to virtual slavery, low wages, and that it had uh, engendered such an air of suspicion among the men that each man regards every other man as a possible territory or as a possible traitor or spy. Now, the brother in the Houston camp, he went into this a lot deeper. You know, models of management and pro. Because I suppose that brother deals with this, and there's there's uh there's models of productivity, right? And really, how they got it brass tacks. That's why when you see that when they go over business history of plantation slavery as a cautionary tale of what profit seeking can look like when everything, including lives, is up for sale. And I didn't have some time to read this, but this is a decent article. I read a little bit on it. Um, it goes into a lot on this, but the brother brought out an article about how modern day productivity is all based off of what they learned during slavery. Message link between slave owners and modern management. By studying history of business practices, HBS research researcher Caitlin Rosenthal made a startling discovery. Many of the techniques pioneered by slave owners in the 1800s are widely used in business management today. Rosenthal discusses her finding in this story, which first appeared on the HBS Work Knowledge website. You see, and this is coming out on Forbes magazine. I'm gonna go down and see if I can find some juicy bits on this. Forgive me because my computer's lagging. Oh, this is juicy. It says Rosenthal at Harvard, New uh, Newcomen Fellow in Business History at Harvard Business School, uh, found that Southern plantation owners kept complex and meticulous records, measuring the productivity of their slaves and carefully monitoring their profits, often using even more sophisticated methods than manufacturers in the North. Several of the slave owners practiced such an incentivizing workers practices such as incentivizing workers, in this case to get them to work to pick up more cotton, and depreciating their worth through the years are widely used in business management today. You see? So it says, as fascinating as her findings were, Rosenthal had some misgivings about their implications. She didn't want to be perceived as saying something positive about slavery. On the contrary, she sees her research as a critique of capitalism, one that could broaden the understanding of today's business practices. Now, that's all I'm gonna get on that. So you're seeing how slavery brought to pass how modern day businesses work, how modern day work processes are managed. You know, this slavery goes deep. Slavery goes extremely deep, and people think it's such a shallow thing that all you think about is what you see on Roots. No, it goes a lot deeper, and that's why the Lord is angry, man. You know, so this is another one that shows you how deep slavery goes. If I can get this stuff to stop popping up, man, this is irritating, man. It says American medicine was built on the backs of slaves, and it still affects how doctors treat patients today. It says in 1894 the Journal of American Medicine Association announced that for the first time in American history, a public statue had been erected to the memory of a member of a medical profession, J. Marion Sims, first unveiled in Bryant Park in New York City. That monument bore an inscription celebrating a physician whose brilliant achievements carried the fame of American surgery throughout the civilized world. Now, let me see if I can get this for you. Just read it. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. I'm going to just read it just for the process of time, because every time I pull up something, on the computer, it goes slow. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. It says, "Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending of the law and injected to our infamy the transgression of our education." You see? The transgression of their building up their we're objecting to this infamy. You see? He's being praised as this world-renowned physician and groundbreaker in medicine of his time. But really what he did was torture and Jake to get what you have today. It says, indeed, Sims compiled path-breaking accomplishments designing the vaginal speculum, developing a treatment for uh, viscovaginal fistula, and building a successful medical career promoting VVF repair. It says he would serve as president of the American Medical Association and was dubbed the father of modern gynecology. In 1934, the statue of Sims was relocated to a new place of honor in Central Park. For more than 8 decades, it stood directly across from the New York Academy of Medicine, a potent symbol of Sims' stature in American medicine. But to modern eyes, Sims' records look far more complicated. The VVF treatment he developed, for example, came as a result of experiments he performed on black slaves. In response to growing public outcry, New York City removed the statue of Sims from Central Park in April, while activists are urging the removal of similar statues from Alabama Capitol, but removing symbols of venerated Sims will be most effective only if the step foster border conversations not only about his career but also about how his historical content still influences modern medicine. We must address ways racism and slavery shaped American medicine, not only to right past wrongs, but also to confront how the influence continues to affect how patients are treated today. Now, what did he do? This dude was responsible for hysterectomies, where they gut out a woman's birth canal. You basically put an ice cream scoop in there and just dig it out. Let's see if I can get it. Because it's documented proof that this dude and others like him sat there and would just scoop out women's Jake women to give them hysterectomies. This is how you got that. How do you think you got C sections? This is how you got that. All modern medicine is based off of what they did to Jake in slavery. This is the curses, man. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he destroy thee." And we have literally been destroyed through this slavery, man. Esau has been deaf to our people, man. Now, this is going to be another part. Now, car industry. This is a trillion-dollar probably industry, right? In one of the most important parts on a car, past the engine, is the tires. Now, repeat this: death in the in the devil's paradise. Little over 100 years ago, in 1913, one of the least known, most shameful episodes in British colonial history, the Brits, who you know as British people today, the original ones, you know that people know today are war Edomites. It says British colonial history was brought to an end in London courtroom. It says the Peruvian Amazon Rubber Company was was wound up in the High Court. It says the only hint at its dark secret being a brief remark by the judge that it was impossible to acquit the partners of, of knowledge of the way in which the rubber had been collected for the company. You see how Esau get down? It says what is known today as the rubber boom had its origin in the middle of the 19th century, 1900s. We barely got to 2020, you know? So this ain't that long ago. It says with Charles Goodyear's discovery that cooking and treating latex harvested from rubber trees turned into a product with a huge range of potential uses. So where you get Goodyear tires from, that's Charles Goodyear's. In Arizona is Goodyear, Arizona. This is where it came out of, right? It says with Henry Ford's mass production of the motor car, a few decades later, the innovation of tires by John Dunlop in 1888, the need for rubber suddenly became extremely pressing. It says the rubber tree grew in profusion in the Amazon, especially in western fringes, and soon a veritable rubber rush was on. Entrepreneurs from entrepreneurs and fortune seekers set off into the steamy jungle jungle determined to cash in, unaware of impending disaster. Tens of thousands of Indians, from whom the Western Amazon was home, were experiencing their uh, last years of peace. You see, this is not to say, how does it go? Yeah, Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keeping at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth under him all people. And that's what you see. Why do you think he took the peace from him? You know, this is him that took peace from earth, the so-called white man. This is what he went and did. It says, one of the many chancers and treasure seekers determined to make their fortunes in this brave new world was a Peruvian trader named Julio Cesar Arana. Arana acquired vast estates in a region named after its large rivers, the Putumayo, and as many others were doing at the at the time, realized that only by enslaving huge numbers of locals of the local Indians to collect the latex could the vision of vast wealth become reality. You see? As Esau Edom, this is what the so-called white man did throughout the world, man. This is how deep slavery goes. Slavery had, of course, been abolished decades earlier in the U.S., but brazenly continued in Amazonia. You see? This is how Esau, this is how deep it gets down. No other nation was repeatedly put in captivity, all for a few people to get paid. Honestly, the entire nation of Edom benefited from slavery. You know, when you go into insurances, which also comes from slavery, they would insure the slaves, then they would lease them out to other people on a low levels of interest for a certain season, get them back. While they're being leased, they'd be leased. So if the slave died, the person that leased them out would get some money, and they wouldn't be no little cheap. They get damn near another slave or two with that money. So back in Daniel's 9 and 12, it says, and he had confirmed his word, his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil, for under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done unto Jerusalem. You know, Esau did all this. Baruch 4 and 6, it says, "You were sold to the nations not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies." You see, this is why we went into that, man. We were sold unto these people to get this, to take this L, because we moved the Most High to wrath. But peep this, man. The Lord has a special judgment, man. You know, this stuff doesn't go unpaid, man. It says the Lord was but a little speed displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. It just kept coming, kept being oppressors, man. This is Revelation 13 and 9. It says, "If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity," and he's consistently been doing this from the Romans to the Roman Catholics to the French to the Spanish to the Brits to the Americans. Then they went down into in the 19th century just to enslave people for what? Rubber, for fucking tires. Our people, Jake, for fucking tires. You know, contrary to belief, you Issacharites, you were slaves just as much as us, man. It says, "And he leadeth into captivity that should he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints." So you devils and your children will pay for all this, man. And actually, you can read that in Isaiah the 14th chapter, Isaiah 14 and 21. I believe it. I'll get it. You devils are gonna pay for this, man. It's what you did goes deep, man. Isaiah 14, I believe it's 21 though. Isaiah 14 and 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, man. So for what your fathers did, your forefathers, yes. You think about these white folks that were out here doing all these things that you agree were abominable acts. You're gonna pay for what they did. For I will rise up against them, say Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, the son, and the nephew, say Yahweh. And I will make it also the possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of the destruction, said Yahweh of hosts. Yahweh of hosts has sworn, saying, surely, as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have proposed, so shall it stand. You see, all this stuff is going to come to pass. You devils are going to pay for your actions, man. You devils are going to pay for your actions. So, Lord willing, this was some good edification. I want to say double honors to elders and apostles, great millstone, peace, mercy, hope, elect, and shalom to the brothers out there preaching this word in truth and sincerity. Keep pushing, man. Keep pushing.